Loki, episode 6, finale, recap, spoiler filled, because we gotta talk about the end and the biggest twist of all. And like I said, and like it is every week, it's a twist. There's a reveal every episode, right? I've been saying that, and they were saving it for the biggest one for last. And I mean, look, I never said it before on this show, but it was always in the back of my mind. There's some people who were pretty confident it was gonna be who it was, but I just really honestly didn't know. It could have been. It's not that I didn't think it was who it was. It's just that I almost they threw me off a little bit because I know that. So Jonathan Majors, I guess I'm talking about this first. I mean, why not? He's in the whole fucking episode, right? How do I want to break this down? Because yeah, they're that's it. I mean, they go to this place that the previous episode left us on. It's like, oh, there it is, that temple or palace or whatever at the end of time, at the end of everything. And yeah, pretty quickly they get to meet who has been running the whole show, the TVA, everything, and it's fucking Kang. It's Kang, the Conqueror, but it's not too at the same time, which I'll break down a little bit more for people who are not really aware of how Marvel Comics has played with this character now that has made his MCU debut in Loki, which is why I was thrown off. Right? They casted Jonathan Majors, who plays the character. They casted him in Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium, which is like, as Kang the Conqueror, which is like, okay, whoa. Makes sense, though. It's a movie, too. That's where he would make his MCU debut. Not on one of the shows, but it makes the shows must watch. You know, you gotta watch the shows. You wouldn't know who this is if you didn't. The implications of this finale alone, the ramifications it will have on the storylines going forward, that speaks to how important it is to actually watch the Disney Plus shows. Still can't smoothly say a sentence without my fucking hiccups in it. Still. Everything I fucking say, there's a fucking... like I'm fucking... something. Shit. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't record on Friday night anymore. Maybe that's part of the problem. But then when would I do it? For a Saturday during the day? It's like, it doesn't look good set-wise. It doesn't look good either. The fucking glare bothers me. I don't know how to do lighting. Yeah, that's why I was thrown off. And, yeah. You know, you give yourself a little prompt here to help use it. Just, I think... I also was like, dude, why did Miss Minutes pop up? You know, we see her first, and she's like, he wants to cut a deal with you. You know, you can have everything you ever wanted if you just follow the fucking get in line, you know. And I'm like, at first when she popped up, I was like, oh shit, are they gonna throw another dumb fucking Mandarin moment at us from Iron Man 3 where it's like completely a fake out kind of thing? But no, they didn't do that at all. They did the best possible scenario here they could have done. Now, the really biggest, most enjoyable part about watching the finale, besides being on the edge of my seat for the whole thing, was watching Jonathan Majors actually just completely embody the character in one scene, in one swift episode appearance. He's the perfect casting. Like I knew he was gonna be. I couldn't wait to see him to play Kang the Conqueror, to play Nathaniel Richards is the other half here that I want to talk about. And I don't know if that's not something that is like, oh shit, don't say that, because we should it's kind of like a big spoiler that we should learn in the moment, right? No, I don't think so, just because that's how it is in the comics. If you would know that. I guess if you don't read the comics, it's spoiler for you, but fuck it, dude, because it doesn't really matter who he's related to. It just matters that he's as dangerous as they come. He's the most dangerous being in the Marvel Universe, aside from a few other people. I mean, he's top 3, top 4 of all the villains. Because of the kind of control he has over things. Look at what he did here. Look at what the strings he's pulling. He created an agency, an organization to literally monitor time and timeline and multiverse and everything. Like, that is power. That's serious fucking power. And you wouldn't want a crazy maniac running that shit. Which is also why I don't think we met Kang the Conqueror yet. We met just Nathaniel Richards, he is Kang the Conqueror. He's like he says, I got these variants of myself that are not as benevolent or forgiving as I am. They're actually way fucking worse. And the worst of them is Kang the Conqueror. I'm the way I see it, it's probably either that there's a few different versions of this character we see in a few different storylines and chapters of the MCU going forward. A few of them being really bad, a couple of them being decent or good, and then the one being the worst, the actual Kang the Conqueror. There's gotta be one of them that's like the actual big bad. That's how I see it. Because I think even another variant of Kang or Nathaniel is a kid version of him, where he's Iron Lad and a member of the Young Avengers. So there are actual good versions of this character we've met, but there's also the worst of the worst version. And yeah, I just think it's very possible that who we met here in this episode wasn't the actual person who goes on to be the big bad villain of this next saga of the MCU. But it hinted at that in the most extreme possible way it could have. So yeah. I also think it's a clear setup, the ramifications here, anything going forward. And I've been questioning too. Does Hawkeye take place before this? Does Ms. Marvel take place before this? Because they both come out before. Even Eternals, dude. Because they've been known to do this before, where they have some things come out not in chronological order, and then later when you rewatch it is when you would do it in chronological order. But so is Hawkeye, is Ms. Marvel, are they happening before this? I can tell you what's definitely happening after it. And what this big fucking blow up moment does is set up those films, specifically the two that come directly after the remaining storylines of this year, which are Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, and Eternals, Shang-Chi. Like those wow, that's a lot. Shit. There's just so many. Dude, the fact that we already had WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and Black Widow already in this past 6 months is fucking wild. Never had this much Marvel content before. It's all been good quality too. So they're still doing it. But yeah, I'm just curious where he actually takes place in the timeline. Because right now, the way I see it, I'm watching it if I'm rewatching it, I'm watching WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, obviously Spider-Man: Far From Home. I guess, yeah, and then Shang-Chi and Hawkeye and all those. I'm watching all those before I watch Loki. And then Loki, and then Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which are the two that they are definitely, the ramifications of this are going to directly affect those two movies specifically. Probably setting them up to be very, very wild because of the impact that creating a multiversal war has. So that's what happened here. I also think the most important moment in this episode, character moment, is the decisions made by our two Lokis, by Loki and Sylvie, by the protagonists we've been following. And I think it's that it officially divides them as individuals. The final, straw, the final nail in the coffin on them being two separate people, separate characters that are, yes, are they the same person technically? But yes, but they're, as I've been saying, different people. And it's that it comes down to a literal declaring of the fact that she's not him. Sylvie says, I'm not you. And that is the final nail in the coffin, that she's an individual person and wouldn't take the exact actions that Loki would just because they're both Lokis. They're their own people. And she is the one who betrays in this. In this case, it is not our Loki, who we're used to seeing that betrays. It is Sylvie. And she does it out of hatred towards the TVA and this particular person who's been running it. She does it out of revenge, and she does it out of pain and torment, and it clouds her vision, and it causes, the worst possible thing that could have happened is that man, Nathaniel Richardson King, or in this case, who he really is so far to us, is He Who Remains. That's who we know him as at this point. That's the only name we get. He Who Remains was actually telling the truth. And the fact that that is the case is really bad for everybody, because she killed him. And it looks like the multiverse just blew wide the fuck open. So you don't think that the Sorcerer Supreme, Stephen Strange, has a lot of cleaning up to do, has a lot to fucking deal with? He does. Don't forget, I keep forgetting, Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man 3. So yeah, Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2, which has fucking Wanda in it, those two movies are directly after this. Have to be. They're the two movies that are gonna be directly affected by what the fuck just happened here. To start with, and then everything else too is gonna be affected. Assuming that they can't fix what's going on, Maybe they find a way to contain it or something. But yeah, it's really gonna be fucking wild to watch. Jonathan Majors, his performance overall is the best thing. It was so fucking. It was great to see that he's really gonna be great as this. He was like, he was so likable too. You like him, and you're like, fuck, this guy's, he's gonna fuck shit up. He could fuck shit up. And it turns out not him specifically, but versions of him could really fuck shit up. And when Loki returns to the TVA and he says those words, he's an extremely dangerous being. And he, like, when he seems scared, I'm fucking scared. I was scared. Things just got crazy. And then of course the big thing is, what the fuck is going on? It's like immediate thing. There were immediate changes when Sylvie did what she did and stabbed him. Immediate changes because Mobius didn't recognize Loki. Loki was trying to talk to Mobius and he didn't even recognize him. And then he turns and he sees a statue of fucking of He Who Remains. Didn't see that before. That wasn't there. Mobius, what? So I'm thinking there were immediate. Something happened that caused like a. There's a couple of things that could have happened. Some kind of temporal anomaly, which there will be multiple of because of this, not just in one place. Or when he was thrown back to the TVA, he was thrown to like another a branch reality of it, or like another version of it or something. But then that wouldn't make sense because the TVA has always been this space outside of any timeline, right? But then again, now with this happening, it could affect everything, including the TVA. So I mean, why wouldn't it too? The TVA without the man in charge of it, what is it? It's chaos. It's chaos. It's just it doesn't know what to do. So I'm really not sure. And who knows what the fuck? He also asks like a weird question. It was very strange cliffhanger. It's like giving you very specific details that are confusing. It's like he's like, "What unit are you with?" He said something like that to Loki. It makes me think like, what do they like have Loki's working for them in this branch reality or something? Like my mind was racing with anything this could have possibly been. I have no idea. But what is going on? What's going to happen? And that's where we're at. I mean, this show was always supposed to set things off in the next direction of this entire mega narrative, and it did exactly that. It set up big storylines coming, big conflict, and more fun for us, and more heartbreak, and more laughs, and more of all those emotions that we feel when we watch this continue to just saturate our screens and our minds and everything. I guess that's it, man. I don't know. I'm trying to think of more really touching moments, if there were any, that I mean, they finally kissed. We saw that coming a mile and a half away. Loki and Sylvie, or Loki and Loki kissing each other. I mean, could you imagine if we all just ran into female versions? Sorry, if we all just ran into female or male versions, like just opposite sex versions of ourselves, would we all just want to be with ourselves? It's like a question that you never, like, that the TV show or movies never really asked before. That we're all kind of thinking about a little bit as we watch this. We're like, Jesus. But yeah, there were some little moments too with Renslayer, and she's supposed to be a big character going forward. She was a big character in the comics too. Her and Mobius, and I'm still wondering if they're gonna pull on that Mobius thread at some point. Mobius is supposed to end up like being like a clone. In the comics, he's like a clone. Like there's a bunch of Mobiuses. I wonder if they end up pulling that thread still or not. Anyway, let's kind of just move on.